I call this regular meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Huang.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adrian, please call the roll.
Oh. Okay. Oh.
Okay, so can I share with her?
Youth Ambassador Fang.
Present.
Youth Ambassador Lopez.
Present.
Commissioner Cabot.
Present.
Commissioner Dong.
Present.
Commissioner Wong.
Present.
Vice Chair Rodriguez.
Present.
And Chair Barantes.
Present. All right, we will now have a few announcements by Community Service Assistant Director Matthew Morales-Stevens.
I think we'll pop it back to the approval of the agenda order, I believe.
Sorry about that. All right, we'll do the approval agenda order. Are there any objections to the agenda order? If there is no objection, state hearing no. All right, hearing none, the agenda order is approved. All right.
So tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and our online platforms. If you wish to address the Community Services Commission during tonight's meeting, we request that you please complete a speaker's card and hand it to the clerk, Adrian Franquez. When speaking, please state your name for the record. If you wish to be added to the distribution list to receive Community Services Commission agendas, please email your request to cscommission@sangabriel.gov.
All right, now we have a few announcements by Community Services Assistant Director Matthew Morales-Stevens.
Apologies. That'll push us to public comment now.
I don't have that on here. Oh, so this is ahead? Oh. Okay, got it. Okay, this is time set aside for members of the public to address the Community Service Commission on items of interest that are not on the agenda but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Community Service Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action until such time as the matter may appear as an item on a future agenda. Adrian, do we have any public comments for tonight's meeting?
We do not.
All right. Action items. Approval of minutes. The minutes are a record of the official actions taken at the Community Service Commission regular meeting of December 1st, 2025. Adrian, do we have any public comments on the action item?
We do not.
Okay. The time for public comment on this item is now closed. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of December 1st, 2025?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, I'll take the vote. Commissioner Cabot.
Aye.
Commissioner Dong.
Aye.
Commissioner Wong.
Aye.
Vice Chair Rodriguez.
Aye.
Chair Barantes.
Aye.
Motion passed by a vote of 5 ayes, 0 nays, and 0 absent.
All right, discussion items, events and programs updates. Staff will provide a recap of the holiday tree lighting event and recap the kids' paint night and middle school sports programs, which were volleyball and flag football. Adrian, do we have any public comments on the discussion item?
We do not.
Okay, the time for public comment on this item is now closed.
Excellent. Thank you. So just before I turn it over to Andy and Anna to provide their respective presentations on the programs, just a brief update in terms of the pool and the office, the Community Services Office or the Community Recreation Center. So starting off with the Community Recreation Center, it is closed to the public until tentatively January 11th. Excuse me. Let me double check that date to be sure. It'll reopen January 12th, so it'll be closed to the public through January 11th. We have relocated classes or postponed classes into a future date, likely starting the week of the 12th. Everyone's been notified. Instructors and participants, there's also a sign at the front door, and then it has also gone out in our constant contact. It's due to an emergency repair that had to take place at the office. People can still receive service, whether it's registration or general questions or assistance with RIDE-SG. They would just either call, email, or they would go down to the Mission Playhouse box office. So it's that first floor to the left of the main entrance. And then we also have a full closure of the Smith Park pool. There's a few things that have happened, but the more pressing one is the pool heater. So until that's fixed, it's completely broken, so there's no temporary repair that staff can issue. So the part needs to be ordered, and then the company will need to install it. So the longest wait will be waiting for the part to actually come in before the contractor can install it. So the Public Works team is working on handling that. And the tentative reopen date is January 26th. Again, that was also in the most recent constant contact. And then we currently have a couple of user groups. Luckily, it's not summer, so we're not canceling any of our city programming. But there were some user groups that were affected, and they have been notified. And then we also have San Gabriel Unified School District that will be utilizing it later this month, and they've been notified that there may be a push to their start date. But happy to answer any questions before we turn it over for the remainder of the presentations.
Just a general question about the swimming pool. Are any other updates being made in addition to the heater?
I wish I could say yes, but unfortunately, that's the only one at this time. Staff have been made aware of another item that could potentially use to be addressed during this closure, but that is ultimately up to Public Works as to whether or not they feel that it's feasible during that window. And then anything larger, unfortunately, would take place at a later date.
And did we ever hear back from any grants?
We are still pending on, I think, one or two, so we haven't heard back whether we've been denied or accepted at this point, so it's just waiting at this time.
How much is it going to cost to replace the heater for the pool?
I don't have the full cost estimate at this time.
Okay, so do we have to defray the cost by cutting programs or raising
I don't
fees for anything?
foresee that being something that we would need to handle at this time. It's not in the tens of thousands, I don't believe.
Okay.
So it should be something that's feasible for the general fund to absorb. But I would imagine if it was, a reworking of the mechanical room, for example, either that would be a call for council whether they would want to offset it with costs or just absorb it from the general fund reserves. All right, if there's no further questions on that, I'll bring Ana Casillas, Recreation Supervisor.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. My name's Ana Casillas. I'm one of the Recreation Supervisors, and I'm here to present on the fall sports as well as the Kids Paint Night. So looking at our fall sports, we offered two during this fall session. We had flag football and volleyball. Both were co-ed. We offered both a varsity and a JV team for each sport. All the participants got to learn a solid fundamental of the sports. They got to build technique. They learned different drills and plays, as well as gaining a chance to work on a team and learn, of course, good sportsmanship. All the teams got to participate in friendly games against local cities. This was a great chance for them to learn, build confidence, test out these plays, and of course, come back and celebrate their wins. Our varsity teams got a chance to compete in the Southern California Municipal Athletic Federation's San Gabriel Valley tournaments. So our volleyball team did an excellent job. They won 3 back-to-back games, and they ended up coming home with 3rd place. So we were very proud of them. Our flag football team had an excellent season as well. They did a fantastic job, and they garnered 2nd place. So we were so thrilled with them. This is their 2nd year getting 2nd place, so they are doing a consistently amazing job. So that was for flag football and volleyball. Right now, we just started the first day of basketball, so we're looking forward to a wonderful season, and I look forward to updating you later on basketball season. Turning over to our Kids Paint Night. So this was our third offering of Kids Paint Night. This time was a Polar Express theme because it was held in December. And people really seemed to enjoy it. We had a full crowd of 23 participants. And we did a few different activities. So they did a hot cocoa bar where they could put a bunch of different toppings. They made a little graham cracker train. We did a storybook reading of the Polar Express. And then they got to create their step-by-step canvas painting of a winter scene. So we got really great feedback. We did a survey. We got some people saying how much their kids loved it. They love that it's affordable. They loved how much thought went into it, how well it was organized, and the decor. So we're very happy with this. We plan to offer another session on March 27th with the theme of To Infinity and Beyond, an outer space galaxy theme, which we think the kids will also enjoy. So we are very pleased with these two events. Any questions or for me?
I have a couple of questions.
Yes.
Because I missed the last meeting, so I don't know if you talked about it.
Okay.
What are the ages for like the kids playing the flag football
Oh,
and
yes.
the soccer?
So that's a great question. Sorry. It's offered at Jefferson Middle School, so it is for middle school students.
Oh, okay. The both levels.
Yes, both levels are for middle school students, and they are both co-ed,
Oh, nice. And that's for the flag football as well?
flag football and volleyball.
Nice. Well, congratulations on the good wins. That has to make you feel good. My other, my other question, pardon me, is what ages were the kids that come to your little painting extravaganza?
Yeah, it's open for ages 5 through 12.
Oh.
And we did get a wide range. Some of it, we get some younger kids, and then we have a group of older kids, or sometimes they bring their siblings. So we had a good variety of ages.
I think that's a great suggestion. I like that. And it sounds like you had some other activities besides just painting.
Yes.
So, well, good for you. Well done.
Hey, thank you.
Just a question in terms of coordination, because we do have the LA County Library that's on Del Mar Avenue, and they often have children's activities, arts and crafts. Do we coordinate with the library at all and potentially putting together like a bigger program or something that's a little bit more well advertised?
I like that idea. We work with them for summer camp. They come out to advertise their summer reading program, and they read a book there and do activities. I haven't explored having them come out at other things other than sometimes they have booths at some of our events.
Yeah, it's just sort of just out of curiosity how that even works, because some of our nearby cities, Alhambra and San Marino, they own their libraries, whereas Temple City and San Gabriel, they're county level
Right.
libraries. And so, just wanted to get a sense of, is there something that we can do to sort of drive traction both ways, bring more kids into the library, and as well, cross-advertise so those kids know about the programs that are happening within the city of San Gabriel, like dropping off flyers, for instance. They do have a small bulletin board. Maybe we can put up some flyers there, just some cross-advertising so that the students who might be in that area are also coming out to these events.
That's a great idea. We do sometimes drop off flyers at the library, but I think, it's always good to strengthen our bond with them, and we can certainly look into further things we can partner with them.
Great. So outside of volleyball and flag football, pentathlon, really love that. So when is that happening? When can we start signing up?
That is coming up. I'm glad you mentioned it. It is in mid-March, so they will start practicing in February, and they should be able to start signing up starting next week. So we'll do a push for that. They're finishing up the flyer, and so that will be unveiled soon. But that's always a fun event, so we're hoping for a terrific turnout this time again.
And did we have funding to get a new Easy Up for City of San Gabriel? Because for some of these events where we're doing SMAF, these are basically SMAF events, right, for volleyball and flag football, or is it just for pentathlon?
These are events that we put on. We just also participate in the San Gabriel, the SMAF tournaments. So at the end of the season, they get a chance to participate in these tournaments. So it's just kind of this end fun thing that they get to do as a highlight.
Right, and I noticed that at some of these places, like Arcadia has this beautiful Easy Up with branding on it. You know, San Marino, I think, has it as well. City of Rosemead. There's nothing for San Gabriel. Is it possible, is it within the budget to just get some more branding out there for the city?
You know, we actually do have a very nice new Easy Up that says City of San Gabriel on it. It's beautiful. It's black. It has the logo. So hopefully at the next event that you are out, you guys can all check it out. But it looks really great. And so we just purchased that in the late spring.
Okay, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
having that out there so the athletes can be in that, you know, for the shade, it would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone will be like, oh, City of San Gabriel. So it'll be
Exactly.
perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Any other questions?
I had a question for, you just reminded me with the flag football.
Yes.
Not particularly this, but for the after-school programs. I know they had their own little flag football thing going on. Is it possible for students that don't attend the after-school to participate in that? Because there was a lot of interest, at least at Coolidge, where they posted it. And unfortunately, they weren't very specific on how they signed up. They didn't say it was after-school program. They just posted flag football. And so a lot of parents were like, oh, I didn't hear about what is, you know, they were lost. They weren't in the mix. So there was a lot of interest to have those, you know, their kids participate in that. I know they can probably do it at Jefferson, obviously, when they get there. But in the meantime, is there anything?
That one is put on through the school district and Breakthrough Sports, so that's separate than through us. So they get their funding in different ways. So I think that's why it's only for after-school programs. Our Jefferson one is San Gabriel Sports, so that's through us. So it's open to anyone
That makes
who goes to
sense.
Jefferson. And our sports coordinator, Danielle, does a great job in getting the coaches ready, and they did a phenomenal job this past season. So.
Okay, so for the Jefferson one, you guys practiced, or do you expect them to already know how to kind of play?
So they do tryouts. They do have a
Okay.
day of tryouts, so they are evaluated on that. But like I said, we do have a JV and varsity team. So the varsity players a lot of times will come in with, you know, they know some things, but the JV, you know, a lot of them, they maybe haven't handled football too much before or volleyball. So they really work with them to build that strong foundation with them.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Okay. Any other questions? Right. Thank you so much.
And next up will be Andy Shoup, our recreation supervisor.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me again. As Matthew said, I'm Andy Shoup. I'm the other recreation supervisor here, along with Anna. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our holiday tree lighting event. Now, this year we hosted the 49th annual holiday tree lighting on December 2nd from 6 to 8:30 here in Plaza Park. And we estimated we had approximately 3,000 people in attendance at the event this year. Now, the event kicked off with our Taste of San Gabriel event, which featured 8 local restaurants. We also had our trackless train, a hot cocoa booth, a craft booth, and photo booths throughout the event. Now, the event stage played host to the Dewey Woodcraft Rangers. We also had our Jefferson Choir and Orchestra, the San Gabriel High School Marching Band, and our very own CS dance classes were there. Then at 7 p.m., the mayor and city council took to the stage to make their various remarks to the community. Then they, along with the Jefferson Choir, led the community in a countdown to light the tree itself. And as soon as the tree was lit, Santa made his grand entrance to the park. He was escorted to the park by the San Gabriel Fire Department in a full parade, lights and sirens with the fire engines, the vintage Mack truck, as well as the San Gabriel Police Department and their full police motorcade. To this year's event, we made a few changes, including the overall event layout. We made some small changes to that, which helped improve kind of the flow of pedestrian traffic throughout the event. And it also made things easier getting Santa and all those fire trucks onto the street safely. In addition to that, we added passport stamp cards to the Taste of San Gabriel event, which every resident who went to the hot cocoa booth was given one of those. They were able to go to each of the various restaurants. They had a little stamp card, so they knew which restaurants were there. They got their stamp card signed off on, which also allowed us to kind of track how many people were participating in those things. And it again served as another means of advertisement for the restaurants that were there. And then our public works team added several thousand new LED lights to the tree, as well as some spotlights, which kind of enhanced the overall tree itself and made it much, much brighter this year. Then as we head into next year, we're going to be hosting the 50th annual tree lighting for the city. So we're going to be looking on ways to expand the event overall for next year, add more holiday-themed amenities, some more interactive opportunities, and if we can get away with it, a whole lot more lights as well this year, just like last year. So with that, that's our overall review of the event. And if you have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer those for you.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky that I'd be able to help at the booth. For that stamp card,
Mm-hmm.
you were not ready for that many people to show up, so we run out those cards fast.
We did. We weren't expecting quite that many people to show up for the Taste of San Gabriel. So we ended up giving out about 800 cups of hot cocoa, which you can probably imagine that number based on
I was
how long
there.
you were there.
Yeah.
The stamp cards, we asked all of the businesses to provide 250 small treats for the community. So we made the stamp cards estimating that. We actually printed about 300 stamp cards, thinking that not everybody would go to everything. And we also had the El Pavo Bakery show up, and they brought 1,000 goodies, which kind of helped offset some of those things. So we ran out of stamp cards pretty quickly, but that also helped tell us that if we do have more restaurants coming, either we can kind of have them armed with the information that last year we gave out so many stamp cards, and we did give away 250 treats. We reduced that number from 500 last year. We requested all the restaurants to bring 500 treats, but we also think that might have played a part in some of the restaurants turning it down, because that's quite a few treats to ask them. So while we did run out of the cards quickly, it was also representative of how many treats the restaurants actually had to give out. So for next year, we can kind of go armed with that information and maybe still ask for 250, but hopefully get more restaurants or some mix in between.
I was there from 6:30 all the way to the end. My question is, I was looking, Matthew was telling me that I was supposed to look for a booth or a pop-up for San Gabriel City, but actually, I guess the hot cocoa was combined with the Happy Donuts?
Yes.
So it's kind of funny that, people, are we representing the Happy Donuts or are we representing San Gabriel City? So that was not a very clear, I was just standing there in front of the office for like almost half an hour. I couldn't find where I was supposed to go. So finally I found you, and then you showed me where to go. So people were asking me, oh, who's giving out this hot cocoa? I said, well, of course, San Gabriel City. But the Happy Donuts ran out so quick. I think they only brought, 3 boxes? We have to cut them up into small pieces. So I was handing them out within less than 15 minutes. They were gone.
It went pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, there must be great donuts, so everybody love it. The hot cocoa smells wonderful, so I was there, and then I was passing out hot cocoa, and then the candy cane, and then also the marshmallow, So we actually ran out the whole box of cups within the first 45 minutes, I think so, right? And then I think the volunteer keep running back to the kitchen to get more hot cocoa. So I forgot the lady's name that was on. She was
Pamela. Pamela was there
Pamela,
throughout.
yes. And then she was in a hurry to try to get more cups, so she actually went out to buy more, or she went to the kitchen to get more.
Yeah, we had
Took a
quite a few more
while.
here at the office. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was wonderful. Everybody loved the hot cocoa. Yeah, so I wish next year, we could do better. And then a lot of people were so disappointed because the car, just ran out so fast. And then kids, was like, oh, we don't get a chance to eat because I guess they need the car to get food from the other vendors. So, yeah, I didn't expect 3,000. I know I was counting the cup because we opened a whole box with 600. And then the half box, which is not 200. So that's great. That's wonderful.
It was great. We went through quite a few. So I know next year Pamela was great about seeking out. She went door to door to all those restaurants to collect all of them. Pretty quickly, she was able to gather all of them. So next year she'll be tackling it as well. With some more time, hopefully we can get more. And now that we actually have a little bit more information, some concrete data to tell them, we hope we can add a few more. We also discussed adding perhaps 2 hot cocoa booths to make that line a little bit shorter. And now we know we gave out 800 something cups, so we'll be ready for a whole lot more as well to kind of keep those lines moving.
That's wonderful. The hot cocoa, everybody loved it. That night was so cold.
It was cold.
But whoever was making the recipe, the hot cocoa smells wonderful. Everybody coming. They were in line for a long time waiting for the next batch to come, and I said, be patient, they're coming. So they were actually standing in the cold and waiting for the hot cocoa.
Going back and forth.
Great job. Yeah. That's a lot of people showing up that night. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, could you share the recipe with the hot cocoa? No, actually, this year I'm quite impressed in how there was some things that were addressed from last year. For example, the pedestrian flow, that was great. I didn't think that it was more people because I think generally it was handled better this year. I didn't see that much congestion in traffic. That's one. Secondly, I didn't see a lot of stragglers when Santa was coming in versus last year. People were like, move aside, right? I think it was ran pretty tight this year. So that's one of the things that I was really impressed about. And I was carrying my toddler the whole time, so it was not difficult for me. Even in terms of the acoustics, and I think I brought this up for anything that was done in front, when the city mayor and the council were there speaking, or the performers, I think I would understand why it was really difficult to get that sound in because everyone was there, but I think it was manageable. So in general, compared to last year, I think we're getting, and it's great that you guys are listening, for example, with the feedback, and I think those have been addressed. Year on year, I think I'm just hopeful, and I'm looking forward to the next one because I feel like we're getting better every time. So yeah, congratulations.
All right. Thank you.
Well, just wanted to see what the next steps were. Sorry, Sharon.
Let's go ahead.
Just a quick question, because I know Pamela came and talked to us, and I thought she gave a really good presentation last year about, we met her, she went door to door, obviously, to the small vendors. So now that she's cultivated those contacts, is there a sense of her sharing that data or getting more information from the vendors to see how much traffic that event was able to drive to their business?
I know she followed up with all of the vendors right after with a thank you letter, and she's been in contact with them. And she's discussed with them, I believe all of them have committed to coming back next year, which is already good. And then she had several people this year that she reached out to who couldn't commit this year but did commit for next year. So we're already growing off of that. And she discussed some follow-ups on that to see like if they saw any bumps in participation or visitors to their restaurants. But I know she wanted to give a little bit of time from the date of the event to when she was inquiring with them. So that's something that we can follow up with her and see if she was able to get any data from those restaurants about whether or not this was a good advertising opportunity for them.
That was basically my question, so well done. And I wondered, what the feedback was from the restaurants that provided. Did you have a wide, I wasn't able to go, unfortunately. So did you have a wide variety of treats, is what I'm guessing?
We did, yeah. We had lots of treats that were there. We had some restaurants giving out drinks. We had some giving out little bites of food. So it was kind of a big variety from the local community that I think they were very well represented. And the ones who were there all provided very positive feedback. All the restaurant owners who were there or the managers who were there seemed very, very happy. And again, committed to coming back next year. So hopefully
Well,
we can keep
kudos for that, because I know it had to be asking a lot for these restaurants at this time to give away free food. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And that was the tricky part. So I think in reducing the requests from 500 to 250, I think helped quite a bit. And then getting more of them, which kind of softened the blow to having less, I think worked out pretty well.
And I know El Pavo with Karina, she's done so much. She knows to bring 1,000 rather than 250 because she will use it. But not everybody financially can do that.
It's true.
And it isn't necessary as long as a lot of people get a taste of it. So like I said, I couldn't go, but I heard really good comments about this year, how the tree was so much more added and was very beautiful, and the whole event was very nice. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Just want to add, I get a chance to talk to several vendors, which is the owner or the manager, and they were all very happy. And they was just so shocked that they didn't even imagine, that many people show up that night. So yeah, and then the new owner of the Angel is like, oh, this is my first year. I'm going to come back next year for sure. And then the owner next to it, and then they wish they brought more food. So great job. Thank you so much, Andy.
Of course, thank you.
Actually, I was curious about that. Do we have any feedback from any other people who came, whether it was, for example, why the food was not enough, or if there's any? I'm just curious.
I didn't hear much. I think and you can correct me if I'm mistaken. I believe when the guests were coming to the hot cocoa booth to get their cards, I believe staff were doing a pretty good job of explaining we've run out of cards because the cards represent how many samples are available to everybody. So I do think that there was some disappointment that they run out of cards, but I also think that there was an equal amount of understanding as to why that happened.
Okay. Because I figured, again, it didn't seem like there was that unrest. And I feel like even if it was 250 or 500, you will run out anyway. So.
Exactly. And we didn't run out of hot cocoa, so I know that was easy to soften the blow. It was like, we're out of cards, but there's still hot cocoa for you. Here you go. So people still walked away with something, which I think helped a little bit.
One more quick question. How how did you streamline to Santa? I don't know if you streamlined it differently, or was it
Oh,
faster?
so last year we flipped the locations of where the Taste of San Gabriel event
Right.
and the trackless train portion took place.
Okay.
So last year Santa had to come down Mission through the road where everybody was in line for Taste of San Gabriel. So we kind of
Right.
had to move them all away, which worked, but it was not great. And the trackless train is just easy to park. So when Santa was coming, we had staff let them know, when you hear the sirens, park the train off the side. And we had our white fencing that we borrow from the Mission Playhouse, kind of
Okay.
along that whole stretch. So we parked the train, and then the fire engines were able to just come right in and park, which also kept everybody from mobbing the train or the fire engine that Santa was on, which led to the
Right.
issues last year where Santa couldn't get from the truck to the tree.
Exactly.
So keeping everybody fenced off, they could still see him. He was able to come on through, and it made things a little bit smoother. And then as soon as he was in, they were able to move the truck, and we could get the train going again pretty quickly, all while not interrupting the Taste of San Gabriel lines.
Oh, good idea. It sounds like you've made a lot of, they may not have been huge, but improvements to make things more streamlined, and it looks like you've learned a lot for next year as well.
Try to make little tweaks here and there and make it all work a little bit better every year.
Well done.
One last suggestion. Do you know how many containers for those hot cocoa that we have at St. Gabriel City at the kitchen? Because we have to keep rotating them. So do you know actually how many you have on hand?
We had 2 of the 100 cup heaters, like you might see for like when they make coffee at a conference, and then we had several of the large Cambros to hold it all in. We were just going through it much quicker than we thought. So for next year, we can either rent some new ones, and then we've had partnerships in the past where Starbucks has lent us some, where we can kind of get some of that hot water and hot cocoa ready a little bit earlier. And then if we do go with a 2-booth solution, then we'll have to do even more with those things. But I think it's shown that it's probably necessary.
Yeah, you should see me. The kids were like looking at me. I'm trying to tilt the whole thing, like the last drop. I mean, the last drop come out like so thick. I said,
Get every
it's going to
little
be the
drop.
best cocoa you can have. They were drinking the chocolate, yeah. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Conversation with our commissioners and youth ambassadors particularly. Does the high school advertise this event? And are there, whenever I've gone, it's mostly young kids. Do high school students come out, and would they like to see other types of activities there?
I actually haven't seen it be that much advertised in my school, but I think through online, my parents have like talked about it sometimes, and because I live so close, I can see it as well, but not so much like during school that they, talk about it and stuff like that. I don't know about.
Yeah, I don't really see it being advertised at school or like talked about at school, and I have a couple friends who like discuss it, but it's kind of like unfulfilled plans to go. So I think you could like utilize social media better to get the word out that it's happening.
Is there an impression that maybe the event is targeted to younger kids? And maybe that's why the high school students aren't coming out?
Kinda.
Kind of. Okay.
I don't think that's a factor for sure.
Yeah, they're not, it's like young kids or, the older kids, but nothing from high school. Not that many high school kids showed up that night. Yeah, just young.
There's not really any activities geared to them either.
I was going to say, if you have any ideas of what can draw high schoolers in, any activities or something to get their attention?
I mean, as high schoolers, you still like Christmas, though? I just want to understand that point. I guess if they don't, it doesn't make sense.
I definitely think that advertising it online, maybe making sure that schools like say in the announcements or talk about it more, the kids will definitely listen.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah. Well, it's just one of our work plan items was to increase participation of residents versus non-residents, and that would be a population that we can tap because they're not currently showing up to the tree lighting event. And it is one of the marquee events for the city, at least from the perspective of the Community Services Department. So it'd be nice to, maybe there's something we could do to encourage more teenage participants come out to the events, not just accompanying their younger siblings, but actually showing up because they think that there's something really, that they could do that appeals to them.
I was going to mention, now that you mentioned activities, for the 50th, are we going to add, I know they want to do bigger lights and whatnot, but any other activities? Like, I think last year we talked about doing a little snow slide or like a snow playground or something? Is that in talks? Or is it too late for that? or-
So if Andy was still here, he'd be very excited to talk about it.
Oh.
So he has started costing out what different ideas would be. There's the synthetic ice skating rink. So that's one option. The drawback is you kind of have to rotate people in and out, so that takes longer. So you kind of run into a similar issue as the trackless train. And then the other option would be the slide, the
Okay.
snow sled. They're about the same price. One is just more eco-friendly than the other. And you'll likely get more people through the slide or sled than you would the synthetic ice skating rink. All to say, though, those ideas are ideas until budget season. And so we are looking at other ways that we can potentially scale back, whether it's kind of reducing some of the lighting on the stage so that you wouldn't necessarily see the snowflakes anymore, but the stage would still be lit up. So we can draw back there to kind of move funds to other activities. But ultimately, if any additional large items like those two items were to happen, it would come with a budget request at the time of budget season for the new fiscal year.
You just remind me with the trackless train. I had emailed you about what the city uses because we wanted it for our school's Winterfest, and you guys need to use whoever we use because the price was like 1/4 what the city was paying. Yeah, and I was like, really? So
great.
I don't know if a lot of the companies say, oh, it's city, let's kind of bump it up more because
Sure.
they're going to pay. But I didn't have a chance to go to the festival, the Winterfest for the city. I was sick, so I didn't get a chance to go. So I couldn't see that train to see if it's the same exact one that they had. Because if it was, then we definitely need to jump
Yeah.
on to another vendor.
Yeah, if
Say-
you have the contact information that you can pass along, that would be great.
Yeah, for sure. I'll get that.
I wanted to ask if we have like an active social media account for, putting out all this information. Is it like constant, posts and like reels and stuff like that? So, people can see it like really often. We have that?
Yeah, so there's one social media account for all of the city of San Gabriel, with the exception of PD and Fire. They have their own respective accounts, but all of the other departments fall under I think it's at San Gabriel City, on both Facebook and Instagram.
Is it a lot of posting? Are you guys active in TikTok as well?
Not TikTok, no.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And typically the public information officer posts once a day, and then they might do several stories a day, but typically it's no more than one post a day.
Oh, that's great.
I can't tell you her exact methodology, unfortunately. I am not privy to that, but I know they're kind of strategically planned. And then since the public information officer is posting information for community services and the Mission Playhouse and sometimes police, or if there's an economic development portion coming on, you may, see a community services item once a week, and then in between that is all of those other department activities.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Can I ask a question? Sorry. Would it be appealing for teens if there was like Instagrammable areas or like photo ops? Because I went to Enchant Christmas and a lot of people went mostly for the photos. Obviously, it was very beautiful, but also the photo opportunities that you get at something like that. Would that be something that would drive teens to attend the events?
Well, I know you mentioned that you have like photo booths, so I think photo ops would be good to add.
So we had talked about cutouts a couple of years ago, mostly because we thought that would be a cheaper way to revamp the Winterfest or the Winter Festival. Did we look into that? Because if you glam it up, it would look really nice on Instagram.
Yeah. So unfortunately, even this year we ran over budget, so there was no I had staff stretch as far as they could, and that's all that we could pull off. But maybe next year we can start adding in things. So, like, for instance, they had to replace the pre-lit garland in front because that also acts as a barrier. So that's something we don't have to purchase next year. So we can maybe focus on that one next year.
I'm not sure how far we are in terms of budgeting for next year's event, but I'm not sure if we have explored looking for a place where we can have an actual ice skating rink, because I'm not sure how much, you know how they have that around Crypto Arena, and that makes so much money. Can you imagine if we just have that somewhere in this part of the city? And people will be going here. That's sustainable business for the city, for sure. Can you imagine that everyone, it's so easy to advertise that? These kids would be going for sure. I know. But yeah, so, and can you imagine you have that even just for a full month for December, and then you're getting, I don't know, 300, 500 a day for $60. That's something, you know.
I can't imagine that would be inexpensive to put together, though.
It probably would be expensive, but the returns on it, because the traction of it would be great. So we just have to look at the sustainability of it, because money makes money. And if we have that budget to put that in, as opposed to us making small efforts, we make that one big one. We can even make it as a yearly thing. Now we're known for, like, oh yeah, go to San Gabriel if you want to do ice skating in Christmas. So now it's more sustainable. You have that traction for the city. You have incremental budget that's coming in. So I don't know if anyone's looking into that for planning, but that'll be really good.
Definitely very, I would say that's very exciting. But it's definitely a place to hang out. And $60 is doable for sure for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, because I noticed that like the nearest ice skating rink, I know there's one in like Ontario, Irvine Spectrum, yeah, Pasadena. I think those are like kind of far, so I think San Gabriel's a good like central point for those who live in the San Gabriel Valley and want to go ice skating somewhere.
Okay, I hate to be a Grinch, but besides getting the area, we have to have an area to have it in. Then you have to have the ice and to keep it frozen. We're not in Iowa, okay? Thank God. But I'm sure you'd have to have insurance, which is a big, big factor. And I don't know if anybody skating would have to sign a release to make sure. Okay, and then do they bring their own skates or do we have to provide them?
Well, based on how I think, for example, the one at Crypto is run, they do it through a private
Okay.
party. So they're the ones who make sure they have the insurance and the waivers. They're the ones who get everything ready. Like, for example, we have a football field just around here, a soccer field, right? If you get that on, they'll be the ones to manage it. They can forecast for us how much they can bring in or how much we can bring in as population. And they can forecast, for example, hey, we can, for example, have a cut of 30% for the whole duration. And that's incremental. They're running it. We're just giving them that space, and we're getting money from it and traction for the city.
Do they put did they put the ice rink up? Do they?
They put everything out. Because if you go to the one on Crypto, the LA Live Center, it's open. So
Yeah.
be it rain or shine, it's just out there, and then they just maintain it. And you have people coming in and out. So, you know, and I'm thinking it's something that could be a landmark that we start off, especially the 50th is coming in next year. That'll be huge. And it's sustainable too.
I was going to
Get
say,
money coming in,
I was just
get traction, et cetera.
I was just at Crypto for a Kings game, and after it was over, we went on and the ice rink right there, and the line to go there was huge. Like, I was surprised people were willing to wait that long. I don't imagine they were able to allow all of them at the same time, so I was like, they're going to have to wait, but it was a long line. It was very popular.
I think she's right. There aren't very many. There's one in Pasadena. That's a big one. by the convention center, and you said Ontario has another one? I don't ice skate, so I don't care.
There's one in Burbank, there's the Kings rink. Another option, might be cheaper, would be, probably is cheaper, no ice, no skates. And we went there like 2 weeks ago. Kids Space, they have socks. So you just basically take off your socks, take off your shoes, and with your socks, you're skating. So it's a very slick surface. That's super easy to put together. You don't have to freeze anything, right? You don't have to keep the ground frozen. And liability might be the same because you can still bump into each other. It goes pretty quickly. I don't know if teenagers would be as enthusiastic. I know it seems a little bit nerdy, right? But if you want, it's something that's athletic, kind of, anyone can participate.
For something more affordable, what about a roller rink? I don't know if that would be better than ice skating, but roller, you don't have to you install the ice. And I went to one like a couple of months ago, I think, and it was pretty fun. It was like a stadium. It was the size of like a gym, and there was a lot of people of all ages. So I'm pretty sure it'll be popular with like the teenagers and the little ones as well. But I'm not sure if that's like better than the ice skating as well.
Right.
We're just looking for something temporary, because that seems more permanent.
Yeah,
I don't know if the city's gonna wanna,
right.
unless they pay a vendor
Yeah.
or
I
something.
mean, if it's permanent, it's something that the planning committee could probably think about, right? Or business development. Because in that regard, actually now I'm curious, how are we in terms of participation of that age group versus the others? Because we do have a good amount of, and I think we're getting into our work plan right now in this discussion, but in terms of age group, we have a lot of participation from the younger ages and the older ages, but not much in between. For example, teenagers, even us. I don't know how old you guys are, but but you know what I mean. So, and this could be a gap that we can address, and it's something that we have to think about.
Well, should I do my discussion work plan spiel, and then we'll just continue on here? All right. Commission members will discuss the work plan and determine what items could be added or removed, as well as begin working on items. Adrian, do we have any public comments on the discussion item?
We do not.
Okay, the time for a public comment on this item is now closed. All right. No. So I was out last meeting. I know you tried to get me updated on what was going on. I know a survey
Oh, yeah, that's right.
was done, sent out? No?
No, so they're not sent out yet. We sent out a survey for our after-school program. So rather than confusing people with two surveys out at the same time, we are holding that
Okay.
one. So there'll be, we're wrapping up the survey for the after-school program, and then we'll be pushing out a survey for our sports program. Once those are done, then we'll push out this survey. So in that way, it's not overwhelming, because more than most likely, the people that are receiving those will also receive the survey that the commission is pushing out. So I mean, it will be, but we haven't forgotten.
Do we have a
We're
date
just
or no?
strategically-
Possible date?
I would say
Or time frame?
comfortably, we can send it out in February.
Okay.
Yeah, late February. Late February? Mm-hmm.
Probably results in March.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just to help, Cheryl, do you want to talk into your mic so we can hear the conversation?
Right. These girls were just kind of wondering what the work plan was. And I explained that over the years we have created like a work plan, and some of the things have been achieved, and so they've been taken off, and others we decided were just not
Yeah.
pertinent or achievable, and those are taken off. So this is basically all we have left. We've done a lot.
There's a brief little spiel at the top, kind of tells you what we're looking at, and this is what we're working on currently.
Right. So there you go.
Being informal, I should say, Commissioner Cabot, thank you for that. And Commissioner Rodriguez, he was mentioning work plan item 1A. If you see that, the pages aren't numbered, but the work plan is on the last page of our agenda packet. And that's where we would like to provide programs for residents with the age groups 13 to 18 and 30 to 50. So sort of the conversation about drawing more teenagers to come out to the winter programming is to kind of build up more momentum for more residents within that age group to come out to more city events. So if you can think of anything, I think, definitely share your ideas.
I was asking about the social media part because I was thinking maybe we can change the content up a bit, and definitely maybe rebrand it, change it a little bit to see maybe that has an impact on how people see the events and maybe they, are exposed to new things. So maybe we could try that. I'm not entirely sure if that would work.
I guess my question to you would be, in terms of the content being pushed out, if you are hoping to find out information about classes and events, but then you see something about get your business license today, is that going to deter you from being engaged with that social media account?
Well, I was thinking more for the event promotion. Maybe we could involve more comedic, more trendy, right? Stuff that maybe our age group would relate to a little bit more and be like, oh, that's funny, we should go to that, and talk with friends. So you maybe target the content to a younger audience for the events. Maybe we can do like two promotions, like maybe one that's like a poster, another one that's like a funny comedic thing for someone to like engage with.
Are you guys on Instagram for teens? No.
I don't know if Instagram has like
Because they just, I know Meta just started it recently, but I know teens have been on it for longer than.
yeah, definitely, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the only reason why I ask because I'm trying to segregate the channel, the demographics, right? Because, like what Matthew said, you could easily get turned off if you just see, hey, we're closing this because there's a construction, and then you have to apply for your parking permits. Don't forget. And I'm a teenager. What do I care about these things, right? I mean, I used to be a teenager. I don't know how you guys think now, but you know what I mean? And I'm trying to see if there's a different channel that you guys would be more interested in that you're looking at. Because it's so easy. I'm a marketer myself, and it's not easy to create content all the time that will not push off other people. So which means it would have to be targeted communication. And the accounts, for example, you don't follow influencers who are of a very varied range. It's a certain thing that you guys are focused on. So it's the same thing as an Instagram account for the city, right? It has a wide range of communication because it has to cater to everyone. Now I'm thinking probably if you guys are on Instagram for teens and if it is effective, maybe we could, or maybe start the TikTok account, right? Like what they said. So.
Well,
And also, sorry to interrupt. We can create another account maybe, and just like target that one to specific audience. I think that would be great because then all the content would be for that specific thing, and they're not gonna get like bored or be like, oh, I don't care about the tag, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, because I mean anyone can do content. Like, for example, we have programs for study groups, or you go to this event and you get free boba on your next visit. You know what I mean? And that's different targeted marketing. And now anything that they would come up to promote, you would be like, oh, you see it all the time because this is actually the content that you follow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, and this is just us, this is just me trying to throw out ideas because they're the ones driving the actual marketing of it. We want to make sure that we understand you so that they'll be able to cater to.
Yeah, I think creating a second account specifically targeted to that specific content would be really good.
yeah, because I know that for Gabrielino, they have like an official school account where they post like news and like formal events, and they have an account that's run by students for students of like the associated student body where they create like funny promotions or promotions of like spirit weeks, and most people follow that channel.
True.
Because it's fun.
Yeah.
The other one's boring.
It's not boring, but it's just like words, and they just tell you the name of the event, and like
It's information that you
Yeah,
have to have and you don't really.
basically.
Just on another thought on these kids, the symphony, and we'll probably discuss that on the 31st. The symphony comes, and it's a lot of young people. So if you have a chance, go to that one coming up the 31st. They promote constantly to younger people, and it's all online. They hit every avenue, and they do a lot of cosplay before, like at that coffee shop. Which way is it? That way. The coffee shop that's been redone. They have, like a couple weeks before, they'll have some of the musicians come and play, and then they have cosplay people there. And they had it there at the entrance. So I'm sure I don't know where we would do that, but I know that attracts younger people because they're into it quite a bit. Just a thought, if but I like the idea of the teen Instagram. It's a good idea.
So maybe if we have the San Gabriel City Instagram, maybe make San Gabriel City events, something strictly events and stuff. So
But you would have to like get people to follow that account as well and garner attention for that account.
Yeah. So I think the suggestion here now is really more content creation, not just more of a portal to announce stuff. Right? Because if it's just announcement, you can just wait for it, or you know what I mean. But if it's content and now they're really following it, hey, there's this kid running around, and you know what I mean. It has to be that content creation. So.
Can I also just move us to the second part of the work plan where we talk about connecting the entire community to enhance quality of life? I wanted to know where we are in terms of hosting a bike sustainable transportation event. I know we talked briefly about whether or not there was bandwidth for that, budget, resources. Has there been conversation with council about this event?
Yeah, so that would be part of the same budget discussion as the tree lighting. So that we'll start the conversations late this month, early next month in terms of interdepartmentally. And then I haven't looked at the full timeline, so it should be March-ish is when it'll start going to the city manager. And then it goes to council, typically the first meeting in June. So between basically now and then is when council will receive it, if that answered your question.
Is the tree lighting, because we keep on saying it's the next tree lighting, are we talking about next year or next budget year, which would be December this year? So when we say
Yeah,
the
so
50th
both.
anniversary is
Yeah,
it?
so both. So it would be December 2026 for the tree lighting.
That's
and
the
then,
50th year anniversary. Okay.
And then there was, in terms of the bike event, it would need to take place in the next fiscal year, which is the 26-27 fiscal year, which starts
Oh.
July 1. Yeah. Yeah.
Which starts July 1 of this year?
Of this year, correct.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, understood, okay. So I am happy to reach out to Active SGV and let them know that this is sort of tentatively the timeline, that we're pushing it out to after July 1st. Because we want this to be a very special 50th year anniversary, does that mean that it will cannibalize the budget for probably this event?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't answer that question right now. We haven't received direction in terms of if it's a status quo budget or if we can make additional requests. So until we have that information, I can't quite say that. And typically, events are kind of a hot topic discussion. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's more discussion later. Potentially at the next commission meeting, we can bring this item back, and then maybe that's something that the commission can discuss as well. And maybe that will help us in formulating the budget request to council as well, as maybe we as staff think that the commission or the community would value a really spectacular 50th anniversary, but really you'd rather that be scaled back a little bit to be able to work in the bike event, or so there may be a different perspective than what we think your perspective is.
Well, we kind of had a sidebar after last meeting in terms of how this could also be a public safety event because of the number of e-bikes Is that being discussed at your high school, by the way? Do people use e-bikes to get to Gabrielino?
I think not electric bikes, but just regular bikes that I've seen. Maybe some electric scooters I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to address your item, because I don't believe I addressed it at the last meeting, but the item was brought forward from the school district at a safety committee meeting. And so we, between the Public Information Office and police department and our department, kind of teamed up kind of how best to assist San Gabriel Unified, because there were accidents that were happening in front of the district, or in front of the school locations. And so the police department provided resources that other cities or other districts have been implementing, which are typically educating the students on the rules of the road, as well as educating parents as the rules of the road, and then providing resources in terms of like policies that they've implemented on the campus, because that's typically kind of where it's all coming from or stemming from. Granted, there's other people riding e-bikes throughout the city or scooters, but there's a larger volume all at one time at those locations. So we've provided all of the resources to SGUSD, and then they'll be pushing out things to their students based off of what we've provided so far. So those conversations have been happening, but I would imagine the last we heard is that it was supposed to be rolled out during this semester. But I haven't seen anything come out.
Well, I think that this bike event would dovetail with that communication too, because we're targeting the schools, Jefferson Middle School in particular, right? Where a lot of this is happening. And at the same time, we're targeting where people live and, the parks, where people are using the parks. And, maybe the messaging for the event would be public transportation use, increase use of active, ride share, the Ride SG service, as well as, hey, if you're going to do an e-bike, these are the rules of the road, as well as, bikes are great, and, get yourself on a bike. And, for students who've never, or for community members who've never ridden a bike, have bikes available for them to use. So there are lots of different things you can do with it, and I think it'd be a special event for a park that we hardly ever go to, which is Marshall Park. So that's just my 2 cents on that. If there is a need for us to, go to the council to present our thoughts, I'm happy to do that as well. I haven't been following the council meetings very closely. How does the budget look like this year? Is it about the same as last year? What are the fiscal results so far?
Unfortunately, I don't have that information yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So typically, all of
No
that
idea.
information gets released to council at the time that the discussion starts. So typically the finance director will provide a 5-year forecast, as well as this is where we're looking at for next fiscal year, and then that gets brought back to the departments to kind of work out from there. But I don't, unless Rebecca has a further update, but I don't think we have that feedback from our finance team yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Talk to 1A, talk to 1B, B. Do we know for the swim class, or are they going to be offering the, for spring, the adaptive swim, or no?
I will double check with staff. We were actually just talking about that earlier today. Andy will be back to provide a presentation in March about swim, so about spring swim and for summer. But I will connect with Andy to be sure that that we revisit the adaptive swim.
Okay. And 1C, we already did that, so we can remove that. Yeah, optimizing participation, gaining residents versus non-residents. Was that the survey?
Yeah.
So that's on hold, okay. Then we talked about 2A as well.
Until we get the results in March of the survey, there would be a good amount of things here that will be knocked out.
I mean, pretty much
connecting
2 we talked about all right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the next steps part, the first 2 I have to follow up on, being sick, and then holidays, I haven't had a chance to do that, so I'll follow up on that. Great.
Challenger baseball.
Your Challenger and the very important, Great brochures, who's creating brochures?
So the staff are working on that. I connected with the designer the week of Christmas,
Okay.
but he was on break for 2 weeks. So he just emailed me back today actually saying that he's getting started on that and a couple of other pending projects that I have with him. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks I'll have that released.
So maybe next meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's the same person that did the cover for the one that was nice, the cover for the Discover.
No, we
Isn't
work
it?
with a different company. That's We the
okay.
Creative that does
Oh.
our magazine. Yeah, but they typically don't do our flyers or brochures or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then 4, gather geographic location of the residents within classes. How are we going to get that?
Yeah.
Through
The survey.
survey as well?
Yeah, it'll come up out in the survey.
Okay. All right, that's all I got.
Well, we could move, appoint 2 ambassadors to the completed tasks
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
section. Check, check.
Yeah.
Done that. Done with that.
All right. No, we went through the whole thing. We're good.
Yeah, so far, so good.
All right. I'll move on to commission reports then. Each commissioner may address the Community Services Commission and public on matters of general information and/or concern. This is also the time for commissioners to report on conferences and/or meetings they have attended. Youth Ambassador Fang,
I have nothing to report.
Youth Ambassador Perez,
I also have nothing to report.
Commissioner Gabbett.
I don't have anything to report that I've attended, but I would like to remind people that January 31st is the the symphony, and that's also the Chinese New Year celebration. Are you going to bring up that at all? Talk about that?
The citywide Lantern Festival.
Yes.
I can speak briefly on it.
That would be great.
Sure.
Because I think people need to know about, that's going to be, with all the lanterns, it's really phenomenal. And the festival is, or the orchestra is going to play into that theme. So make sure you get some tickets. It's going to be wonderful. They also, as I mentioned, they're very good about doing things ahead of time. For a couple weeks prior to the orchestra playing, they will have small concerts in the coffee shop down here. What's the name of that again? I can't remember.
The one down the street is Love to Go, and then the boba shop all the way down is called
the one that's right across from. What?
Factory Tea Bar.
There you go.
Yes.
Why can't I remember that? Because it's really nice inside now. They really changed it. They would have mini concerts in there in the evenings and on the weekends, and they would have cosplay, as I said, and they attract a lot of young people your age. So try and make an effort to go, because even if you think you don't like classical music, this orchestra plays really fun stuff. They play a lot of music that you find in the background of video games and things, and Star Wars and stuff. It's not the heavy-duty Bach and things like that. And I love Bach, and I love all those, but this orchestra plays a lot of fun stuff because they have fun. They have youth playing in there. So I'd like to encourage people to go to that and take advantage of the things that are ahead of time. And then I would like a report on the Lantern Festival and where they're going to put them and so forth, and how it's going to be shown.
So I can speak briefly on that during staff comments.
Okay, Commissioner Dong.
Non-event, but I am an active user of the parks, and with all the rain, I wonder what we're going to do about just the water issues that we generally have, especially around Victor Lugo. Of course, this is going to be a budget issue again. Have there been any steps taken to drain out the water? Because a lot of that park is inaccessible at this point. There's just, obviously, this was, record amount of water, but even during the periods where there wasn't a lot of rain, that area has been really soaked, and the community has been able to use the park.
I believe Rebecca has connected with our Public Works team. I don't know if there's plans greater than what they're doing, which is kind of temporarily trying to remove the water from the area. I think as Rebecca mentioned previously, it was a former landfill, so that's causing kind of the compaction, and that's why it doesn't absorb into the ground like it does in other areas. All to say, no, there is no permanent solution at this time, but we can certainly bring that forward during budget cycle as well.
Commissioner Huang.
I would just like to thank Rebecca and also Matthew from the pickleball group that they actually got a new equipment, a new box for the Smith Park. So we actually be able to store the equipment better because the original box was damaged by I don't know who. But anyway, thank you for the new box.
All right. Vice Chair Rodriguez?
I think I did discuss the holiday. One thing that I noticed recently, I've been getting good. I don't know if I've just been looking at the social media posts, but good communication on road closures. So if there's some construction, and then because I used to be like in the morning and I will drive and be like, why is there closure at this time, rush hour, and have to go around, you don't know anything. I've noticed that the communication has been a little better on that. So.
All right. And myself, I have nothing. All right. Staff comments. Staff members have the opportunity to address the commission and public on matters of general information and/or concern.
All right, so I will speak briefly on the Lantern Festival. It is currently scheduled to take place on Saturday, March 21st from 10 to 9, and then again Sunday, March 22nd, 10 to 7. Yes, yes.
I hate to interrupt, but will there be any setup for when they have the concert at all, or no?
The concert from the, or for the symphony?
Yeah.
We can, to my knowledge, that's not part of the
Okay.
plan, but we can
Okay.
certainly regroup to see if there's any element that we can
You
tie
might
in.
want to check because we have so many. What do they have? Like 37 of the lanterns now. I mean, there's a
Yes.
lot.
There's a lot.
And I don't see any reason why we couldn't put a few up around, because the orchestra is going to be playing, and they really put a lot of effort in to bring
Yeah.
people in. I think
Yeah.
it would be a nice thing to do.
Yeah, we can certainly look at that. Some of the original ones that were sent over are more mobile because
Yes.
they have thinner wires that are creating the structure. Some of the newer ones are extremely heavy, so those may not be as feasible to get on the stage. Not impossible, because we do get equipment onto the stage that is heavy, but we would need to look to see how
I wasn't
feasible it
thinking
is.
necessarily of having them on stage as having them, because they're going to be outside, aren't they?
Yes.
The lanterns? I
Mhm.
mean, just have some outside the Mission Playhouse.
Sure.
I wouldn't, they won't even have room on stage for them by the
That's
time
true.
you put the whole orchestra.
That's true.
And so I don't think that's feasible. I think what is more attractive is to have them down on either
Mhm.
side of Mission, because
Okay.
it'd be closed off anyway, probably. No, not
Not for the symphony.
No,
Yeah.
but you could put them on the sidewalk and some in the grassy area
Sure.
out here. I mean, we have so many of them, we might as well let people see them.
Sure.
And that would be another draw, I
Mhm.
think, because they're targeting, I think the orchestra is targeting the Chinese New Year.
Correct.
So that would be I think that would be a nice thing to do.
Yeah. We will certainly look into that and
Great.
connect with
And
Public
I wouldn't put them on
Works.
stage. That would be, they have enough room packing all those people in.
That's
as it
fair.
is.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It will be co-hosted by World Journal of Los Angeles, and it'll have the lantern display, as Commissioner Cabot mentioned. We don't currently have placements of that yet. We had an initial discussion with all of the departments, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago prior to the break. And so we'll have more information once World Journal sees the lanterns, once Public Works can advise, where they can feasibly go, because there are some that can only go on a very secure surface. If you remember the trees from last year, the pink and brown trees, those are very light and can be kind of staked down and secured, but the new larger ones are more limited on the locations. So more to come on that. There'll be live performances, street food. The last meeting that we had, they had almost all of their food vendors secured, but they are still taking some more shopping type vendors, and then a few other items. And then they'll still have the stage in front of the Mission Playhouse, so the footprint will look very similar, where it'll be on Mission Drive between Broadway and Mission Road, and then within half of the Mission Playhouse parking lot. Otherwise, we will have more to come at the February meeting. And then that's all of the staff comments we have.
All right, adjournment. The next regular Community Service Commission meeting will be held on Monday, February 2nd, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Information regarding matters to be considered at each meeting will be available on the Friday before the Community Services Commission meeting on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com. This regular meeting is now adjourned at